All right, good morning, and welcome to Zabberg Creations Workshop, also known as the Garage. Today, I'm going to put some resin on the wood spinner that we built a couple days ago. So I'm going to show you those steps real quick. I'm going to use a product called Tabletop Epoxy by Shopcraft. It's also a boat resin. So I'm going to show you the steps of that real quick. All right, let's go ahead and get started. This is a two-part system. First off, you have your resin, and then you have your hardener. I like to put down a paper towel, try to protect my workbench as much as possible. It's kind of messed up right now thanks to a cat knocking over some green stain. So eventually I'll take care of that. Always wear gloves. You're not going to want to get this on your hands. I've taken a plastic cup with a line. So I'm going to go ahead and put the epoxy into this little cup up to that line. Then I'm going to put it in this container. I use pretty much any container I can find. Right now I'm using a yogurt container, chasing it out of there with a popsicle stick. Getting that all out of there, like so. Then I'm going to do the hardener, same thing, up to the line. Whoa, dragon. Shoot that in there. All right, and then we're going to mix for about 5 minutes till we get it all mixed in, so that everything works together like it should, and then we'll come back. Okay, well, let's do some resin. Have it mixed up, just a small amount, because you can't really save it until you can use it again. And just a 1-inch chip brush. One thing I'll tell you about this brush, make sure you pull out any loose fibers before you start. All right, and I like to keep a paper towel handy, just to wipe and catch any loose fibers as they come off. You would think that you could just pour this and it would run down really nice, but with a spinner like this, it really doesn't run well. So you definitely need to hang on to it and just paint your way down. Just making sure that you get all the sides, all nooks and crannies. And again, before you start this, make sure that your spinner is nice and tight and everything is compressed together, because if you have any gaps when you start this, it's going to make it one solid unit and you're not going to be able to tighten it once it's set up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this, then I'll show you the results. And I'm back. This took me about 15-20 minutes to complete, making sure that every surface on this wind spinner was coated in epoxy resin. You can see the end grain soaked up a lot more, so it looks like there isn't any on it. There is. Epoxy does let off a lot of fumes, so it's really important when you're working with epoxy to have fresh air. I did open up the garage door, make sure that I got fresh air, as well as some natural light, which is also helpful when you're finishing woodworking projects. Make sure that you get everything coated. If you do happen to get some epoxy on your hands, I use isopropyl alcohol. Takes it off really well for me, and a rag. Epoxy will have some bubbles at times. You can pop those bubbles with a heat gun. I use it on low heat and not real close to my project. You can burn the resin. Yes, I have done that. You can recover. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with this final project, whether we're going to hang it at our house, or you may actually find this particular wood spinner over at the Hidden Gem store in Greeley, Colorado, which is ran by some of our friends. They are so gracious as to sell some of our products. Right now, they're already selling some cedar wood burn boxes, which is awesome. And once I get myself in gear and start cranking out a bunch more of these, they're going to start selling some of these for us too. So check them out. Again, everything that I tell you about epoxy, it's just what works for me. I'm not a professional. I'm fairly new at it, but I have done some pretty big projects with it. and it works. So you too can do this. Thanks for joining me in the Zabberg Creation shop, also known as the garage. And please stay tuned for some more projects because I'm about ready to start cranking them out.